Gao Tu had endured the unimaginable. He had carried the weight of pregnancy alone, suffered every pang of pain, and battled every wave of fear and exhaustion without the comfort of the man he loved. Yet through it all, he had survived. Every sleepless night, every tear shed in silence, every contraction, and every moment of weakness had been endured for a single, unwavering reason: the life growing within him. But survival was no longer enough. Gao Tu's heart ached with a longing that went beyond mere endurance. He wanted Shen Wenlang not just as the father of his child, but as the man who would share this life, this love, this future. From the moment Gao Tu had discovered he was pregnant, his thoughts had been consumed by Wenlang. The child was a living reminder of their connection, a bond forged in secrecy, in love, and in hope. But it was also a constant reminder of what he lacked. Gao Tu longed for Wenlang's presence, his support, his guidance, and most of all, his love. The pregnancy had tested every limit of his body and spirit, and now it was time for his heart to seek what it had always needed: Wenlang as a partner in the life they had created. The apartment that had once been a sanctuary now felt like a prison, a reminder of solitude and longing. Gao Tu moved carefully, each step measured against his fragile body, every breath calculated against pain and exhaustion. The child inside him kicked and stirred, a small beacon of life in the midst of struggle. And every movement was a reminder of the man he loved, the father who should be by their side. "You deserve him," Gao Tu whispered to the child, pressing trembling hands against his belly. "You deserve your father in your life. I want him here with us, always." For over 10 years, Gao Tu had loved Wenlang silently. He had watched, endured, and protected his secret, never revealing the truth about his Omega nature, never daring to expose his deepest desire. Yet now, with a life growing inside him, that love could no longer remain silent. He needed Wenlang in their lives, not just as a biological father, but as a man who would nurture, protect, and love both him and their child. Every flutter of the child's tiny movements became a plea, a reminder that life and love were intertwined, and that his longing for Wenlang was no longer optional but necessary. The nights were the hardest. Pain struck without warning. Waves of nausea and fatigue left him gasping, and fear clawed at his chest. Yet even in the darkest hours, Gao Tu found strength in imagining Wenlang by his side. He pictured him holding his hand, whispering reassurances, soothing panic with warmth and tenderness. The child inside him was a living connection to Wenlang, a reason to endure, to survive, and to hope for the future. "We need him," Gao Tu whispered, tears streaming down his face. "You and I both. We need him here, to be a part of our life." Every day brought new challenges. The physical toll of pregnancy was relentless. Dizziness, nausea, exhaustion, and pain that left him trembling and breathless. Yet the emotional weight, the longing for Wenlang, was far greater. Gao Tu's heart ached for his presence, for his guidance, for his touch. He imagined the father holding him during the worst pangs of pain, whispering encouragement, offering comfort, and sharing in every small miracle of the child's growth. The thought of experiencing these moments alone, without Wenlang, was almost unbearable. Gao Tu spoke constantly to the child, imagining Wenlang's reaction to every flutter, every movement. "He should see you," he whispered. "He should feel you, hear your heartbeat, be part of your life. Our life." His hands trembled against his abdomen, his body weakened by the strain of pregnancy, yet his spirit burned brighter than ever. He had endured suffering beyond imagination, but the desire for love, for connection, for Wenlang, gave him purpose, a reason to fight through every wave of pain and exhaustion. He longed for more than just Wenlang's presence in moments of struggle. Gao Tu wanted Wenlang to be an active part of the child's life, to share in the joy, in the growth, in every milestone. He imagined the father reading to the child, teaching them about the world, comforting them during moments of fear. He imagined Wenlang laughing with them, nurturing them, loving them as fiercely as Gao Tu did. And in every daydream, he wished that he could share these moments together, not in secrecy, not in isolation, but openly, as a family bound by love. The isolation pressed down like a weight that threatened to crush him. But the longing for Wenlang fueled his determination. Gao Tu knew that he could survive alone, he had proven that, but to thrive, to give the child the life they deserved, he needed Wenlang. The pregnancy had shown him the depth of his own strength, but it had also revealed the depth of his desire. To have love, to have support, to have Wenlang as part of their lives. Every flutter of the child was a reminder that survival alone was not enough. Love had to be shared. Gao Tu's thoughts often returned to the moment he had discovered he was pregnant. Fear had gripped him, warning him of danger, of weakness, of the risks he faced. Yet even then, his mind had turned to Wenlang. How would Wenlang react? Would he accept the child, embrace them? Could he trust that the man he had loved silently for so long would step into the life they were destined to share? Every answer was unknown, yet hope burned in Gao Tu's heart, refusing to be extinguished by doubt or fear. Every contraction, every pang of pain, every sleepless night was accompanied by a silent prayer that Wenlang would one day be part of their lives. Gao Tu imagined the father arriving at his side, offering support, holding his hand through the hardest moments, and sharing in the life they had created. The thought of it brought both relief and longing. He had endured so much alone, but he yearned for the man he loved to take his place as the protector, the nurturer, the partner, and the father. Gao Tu's isolation had taught him resilience, endurance, and strength beyond measure. But it had also taught him that love, shared and present, was essential. He could survive alone, but he could not thrive alone. The child deserved more than endurance. The child deserved love, support, and presence. Gao Tu wanted Wenlang not just as a figure in their lives, but as a cornerstone of their future, the man who would shape their family with him, with love as their guide. The final weeks of pregnancy were a crucible of emotion. Gao Tu's body was frail, his strength nearly gone, yet his heart burned brighter than ever. The suffering he had endured was immense, but it had forged a desire that could not be silenced, to have Wenlang by his side, to build a life together, to create a family bound by love. Every flutter of the child, every heartbeat, every sign of life became a call, a plea, a reminder that love and presence were inseparable. "I want him to be part of this," Gao Tu whispered to the child, pressing hands against his abdomen, trembling from exhaustion. "I want him to know you, to love you, to be here with us, always." Tears streamed down his face, mingling with sweat and pain. The apartment was silent, but his voice carried a message of hope, a declaration of intent, a plea for the love that had always sustained him.